We are testing out the Coros Pace 3, and in the modes that, well, first off, there's a marathon training plan, and there's also navigation that was added to this a while ago, but we want to see what that looks like and what you could expect if you buy this watch. So let's go into the run mode here. So we just click down on one, and then we have run. We have a scheduled run today, so we're going to hop into this. I'm not doing the entire thing, but this actually adds into some of the scoring that you get for the for how you're doing in terms of like the marathon plan. So it'll give you a warm-up, cool down, and I think this is supposed to be a 14-kilometer run. That's easy with 6 strides at the ends. So let's go ahead and start that. We'll get GPS signal as well. I also want to add in navigation, so I want to add that in here too. So navigation, scroll down to the route that I want to do here, and then we'll click start route. So I felt the vibration, so I know that it has GPS signal. You can see on the left side there also if it has your heart rate. You can technically start without a heart rate and GPS signal, but obviously not recommended for accuracy aspects. So, but let's get started just by hitting the dial here. Again, the scroll wheel here is a little bit interesting to use, but this one also has a touchscreen that you can use if you want to. But let's hit start route, and says I have to start the warm-up, 5-minute warm-up. So as I'm doing this warm-up here, you can see I'm on the page, the workout page. So it shows the step here, my warm-up, shows my pace bottom left, shows the time that I have left, and then the lap distance. And then you can see the navigation. I'm supposed to turn right in that many feet and counting down. So a little bit interesting. Thank you. And then, yeah, you can change the page here just by flipping it. This is my main page. So I have miles, activity, pace, heart rate, and battery life and time at the bottom. And this is the map view. If you generally know where you're going, because this doesn't have street map like routes, it's more breadcrumbs. You can look at one way versus the other. So I know where I'm going, so I'll show you what it shows on both the workout as well as the navigation. Right at the last few seconds here, we got a notification too, and there's also a countdown which just triggered as well. I have this on vibrate mode, so which is why you didn't hear anything, but you can turn that on in the settings. But it just vibrated to count down and tell me when the run starts instead of the warm-up. So you can also trigger this by pressing this button here and start a new lap or skip over to the training point. So this is the training. So it shows I need to be in that lovely space here, which is easy, but not too difficult. So it shows threshold pace, and I forget what they classify them as, but threshold pace, easy pace, and kind of the happy medium. So again, if I want to skip this, which I will eventually, because I'm not doing 7.4 miles, only doing 5, but yeah, that's the screen you can expect here. And it's nice because it does pre-program this. It's not the easiest thing to move around the calendar, but it is something that's kind of nice to have as a guideline. So I guess I will update you on how this is going in terms of like actual running and stuff like that, because I'm eventually training for a marathon. So right now I'm in sort of the base phase, and I'll show you the screen grabs of the app on the phone as well as the desktop. So let's continue on. I did turn on the tone noises, so the chime that it makes every mile. I turned it on for the activity specifically. So coming into a turn eventually, and you will hear that in a bit here. Honestly, I felt that the vibration does a pretty good job. It's not perfect, you know, it's not a tremendous amount of vibration, but I feel it does probably 80% of the job. I notice it. Whereas like if it's really windy or cold, that's when I stop feeling if it makes that noise or not. The other thing is, in the maps, you can actually zoom in. So it was at 500 feet. So we'll see what we get here. There's that chime, and there's that notification to turn. So when you do zoom in, which is a bit of a process, it's gotten better since I've gotten this watch, but making it right here. We'll actually pause and show you here real quick. So map is up, so we'll go up there. So once we're on this map, we can press this button here and then scroll up to zoom in, and then scroll backwards to zoom out. So we're at 200 feet. There's that chime again. Again, the chime is very soft. And once that notification to turn is up, you can't actually do anything with the watch, which is kind of maddening. So we make that right turn. It's got that signal. We got a little beep, confirmation. And then, so we hit that zoom, we scroll down. Whoops. And this is actually how you zoom in for like elevation map too, that we were just on. So once I push that button in, scroll back, then we're at 200 feet. Scroll back again, 500 feet. So I like being at, when I'm running, around 200 feet. So we'll keep it there. To confirm it, you press down again, so you see that zoom in, zoom out, press it, and then you're good. So scroll back to our workout. And I think the big portion of this, since I kind of screwed with the marathon plan and set it so that to the fastest plan that it could give me, I'm trying to run a sub 3 marathon, and it would only give me a plan to like 3 hours and 12 minutes. So that's what I did. So it's kind of like a little bit strange with what it thinks I can run. It thinks I can run like a 17 flat 5K, which I don't think I can right now. And the marathon bit is a little bit interesting. It seems to want me to be in the blue bits, and you'll see that as we go along in strides as well. This changed what it looks like. So let's finish up this run, and then we'll show you what it looks like when we hit the strides. Maybe another thing that you want to know is if you go off the incorrect path, what does it do? Does it reroute you? All these different types of things. So we're gonna go off the beaten trail and see what it tells me. I think it's, there you go. So off route, 128 feet. And that's really all it does. I don't think it tells you to reroute. It just keeps telling you that you're off route. So yeah, that's what it sounds like. It vibrates and gives you a little notification beep if you have the tones on. The final bit here, so we're coming in to finish up our navigation. So you'll see what that looks like here. So you can see arrived at end of navigation. So it kind of asks you if you want to start or stop. So we'll just X this out here because we don't want the workout to stop. So that's what it looks like navigation wise. Now let's go over to our workout here. So we're done with the running bit. So we're going to press this here at the bottom, and there that bit is. So now it wants me to do the strides, and you can see a new pace section here. So we'll start running these. And so I think it went straight into the stride, so it's doing a countdown. So that's a little bit interesting there. So now it wants me to rest, so we're gonna probably do 6 of these now. So looks like a minute rest here, so we'll sit here. And you can modify the workouts and whatnot and set it up so that, you know, you have 30 seconds to rest instead of a minute. but we're just going to push this to move to the next step. And that's essentially what you can do. This is kind of like your lap button and your skip button, if you will. So we'll skip there, start running. It's supposed to be at like 5:20 or 6:42 or something like that. How long? Oh, too fast. Look at that. Counting down. All right, now we rest. So that's what the changing of or interval workouts could look like too, as it does give you a nice countdown. And then there's me being off route. So don't worry about that notification. But yeah, there you have it. Again, it's pretty customizable. I don't know if Training Peak workouts come over to the Coros app. My thought is that I doubt it, because Coros is a relatively small company. So I imagine, just like not having Spotify integration and Apple Pay or Garmin Pay kind of thing. 10 seconds, and we'll finish up this workout and then give you some final thoughts. So here's the plan on my marathon plan. You can see here that it doesn't like when I do workouts that are not assigned to me or that are not planned. So you can see my training score currently is 19. Even though I've done the workouts, I just haven't done the workouts that are specified in the workout plan. So for example, when I have this training calendar, for example here, I'll go on the top right. So all of these that are pre-planned in the marathon, if I do not trigger these to actually do the workout, it'll give me a lower score on the actual training plan. So that's a bit of an annoyance in that it's not able to look at what I did, for example, here. So on Saturday here, I did a run and I didn't do this running plan. So if I go to my workouts activities on Saturday, I did 12.21 miles. So that was more than the actual workout that I was planned, but I didn't actually get credit for that unless I log it here on the actual training plan. Like as in, when I start a workout, you'll see it'll say like start the scheduled workout for today. If I don't do this, it'll give me a lousy score when I actually do or like when I finish. So it won't attribute that to this marathon training score here. So I do think that's pretty annoying, and I wish that Coros would fix that. Since I know that this is a particular issue, I can go to the profile and do customer support and feature request. So this is something that I do like doing, and Coros has taken some of the things that I've asked for into consideration. But again, I don't want to recommend this watch because of the promise of future requests, but just an FYI, they do end up implementing some of the things that I have mentioned. For example, like the gear tracking. That is something that I asked for and they eventually implemented. So yeah, with that said, let me know in the comments what you think, and we will see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.